Praise the Lord. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, move, Father. Move.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Oh, thank y'all musicians and singers. Wonderful. Wonderful singing. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Luke chapter number 24, verse number 1 says, now upon the first day of the week. Thank you, brother. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came into the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. And they entered in and found not the body of the Lord Jesus. And behold, 2 of them went the same day, this is verse number 13, to a village called Emmaus, which was from Jerusalem about 60 furlongs. And they talked together of all these things which had happened. And it came to pass that while they communed together and reasoned, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were holden that they should not know him. And he said unto them, what manner of communications are these that ye have one to another as ye walk and are sad? And we're going to skip down verse 24, but in between we see that Jesus, that they begin to tell Jesus everything that had taken place earlier that week in verse 25. And he said unto them, Jesus speaking, O fool, and slow to heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things and to enter into his glory? And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures the thing concerning himself. And their eyes were opened that they knew him. Verse number 31. And he vanished out of their sight. And they said one to another, did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures? Hallelujah. I want to focus on verse number 32. It says, did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures? I want to preach on this fall normal rhythm during or after a heart attack. You know that thing we see in the hospital room that hook you up, clear, boom. You know, it's a little different, but I didn't learn how to use one of those. But if you get the picture, it's very similar. Get your heart beating in the right place. But sometimes I feel like we ought to, not only physical, but spiritually, we need to install some spiritual AEDs in our churches. Oh, the people on the verge of a spiritual heart attack, and I've come today to hook up an AED to your heart and to shock it back into the right rhythm. All the things of this world, I'm getting ahead of myself, but things of this world have caused your heart to beat for other things. And I've come today on divine appointment from God to try to shock your heart back into the right rhythm, back in tune with God. Oh, help us, Lord. The other Sunday was Easter. I'm telling you, Jesus is still alive today as he was a few weeks ago. Oh, but our text we read happened later that day. Let's paint the picture. It's the first Easter Sunday. Jesus has risen and appeared to Mary Magdalene, who at first thought he was a gardener. Then he appeared unto several other women, but two followers of Jesus, shaken up by last week's event, shaken up by everything that happened at Calvary. They were headed out of town. They were headed to a place called Emmaus. They wanted to put everything else behind them. Everything that was happened the past few days, they were finished with it, and they were headed to Emmaus. Verse 17 tells us that they were sad, that they were upset, they were depressed, because once they were so sure that Jesus was the answer to all of life's problems. Look at verse number 21. It says, but we trusted. But we trusted. How sad are those words? Right. But we trusted. We used to trust that Jesus was the answer. We used to trust that Jesus was going to come through. And when hope dies in somebody, it's a terrible, terrible thing. That thing that used to set your heart on fire, that thing that used to give you so much passion and drive, is now the cause of your sorrow, is now the cause of your depression. You don't want anything to do with it. You want it done with. You want it out of your life. You're headed out of town because that thing that you used to trust in is now dead and gone. You know, when what you hope to take place doesn't take place, it's sad. It can upset you. The other week, my wife, I double booked myself. I was supposed to be here, and I also told her I could go to Virginia, and I double booked myself. And she wasn't upset with me. She didn't beat me up again. She's doing better with that. Just kidding. But she was upset. Well, the possibility that I couldn't go, it upset her. She wasn't mad. It was just upsetting. And that happens. That happens in life. Things happen. Now, praise the Lord, the thing that I double booked myself for got canceled, and we got to go, and I didn't have to sleep on the couch, praise God. But sometimes in life, you do end up having to sleep on the couch because things don't happen the way you want them to happen. And when you're hurt by others, it hurts. You know, but it's bad. It's depressing. But the thing is, we've come to expect it. We know people will hurt us. We know people will let us down. It's because we let people down ourselves. So we know it's human nature. But when it feels like God has let you down, when it feels like God didn't do what you thought God was supposed to do, that's a whole nother type of hurt. That's a whole nother type of heartbreak. God, why didn't you save this one? God, why didn't you steal this one? God, why did you let this marriage fall apart? God, why did you do this? God, why did you do that? And it can hurt when you think you heard from God and He doesn't answer the way you thought He was going to. It can hurt. But you've got to understand, these two disciples, the pain that they were going through, the heartache, was because they could only focus on what they could see with their physical eyes. And all they could see was chaos, confusion, heartbreak. That's all they could see. Heartbreak happens from time to time through all of us. And what happens when we're in that heartbreak, we cannot get our eyes back on the Lord. We can't get our eyes back on Jesus. All we can see is the heartache and pain. All we can see is the chaos and the torment. We can't see and we can't hear the promises of God. We sing the song Standing on the Promises, but someone here can't sing that because you can't even see the promises of God, because all you can see is your pain. All you according to His riches and glory. He meant that even in troubling times, when you didn't have enough money to pay the bills, He said, I'll supply it. Oh, when that unexpected bill showed up you didn't know was coming, He said, I'll supply it. Oh, when you run out of money before you run out of month, He said, I'll supply it. I'm coming there to tell you, even though you're in the middle of this battle, hallelujah, He said, I will supply it. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, and He promised that all things would work together for the good to them that love God and are called according to His purpose. He said, even in the middle of your pain, good's going to come out of it. Oh, in the end of it, good is coming out of it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Can we praise Him for His promise? Oh, thank you, oh, hallelujah. I gave you a chance to shout. Oh, help us, Lord. On their way to a village called Emmaus, these men were walking, leaving everything that happened in the past, and suddenly a third man joined along with them. Luke 24:16 says that they didn't know who He was. God kept that from them. They couldn't recognize Him, and they began talking with this stranger, and they were amazed that this man had no idea what just happened. Where have you been? You haven't heard that Jesus was crucified? Have you ever tried to tell God something? Jesus, what's wrong with that? Didn't you know that you were crucified? Have you ever tried to, God, didn't you know this happened? You didn't see how they talked to me, God. How many times have you done it? We prayed to God like He didn't see. And these men were amazed. They were amazed that Jesus hadn't heard about what happened to him. He was there. But what's more shocking than that is there's people in this world that don't know what Jesus did for them. Oh, they were amazed that Jesus didn't know. But how many people around us never heard a simple gospel message? It's our job. It's our job to tell them. They begin to tell Jesus how Jesus was crucified. But how the women went to the tomb and found the tomb empty. Then Jesus, still unknown to them, began to teach them, began to start at the law and Moses and the prophets and show them that this had to happen. And so then they made an invitation for Him to come and eat with them. And He accepted. Preparations were made. The food was on the table. Jesus took the bread and He blessed the bread. He broke it and He gave it to them. And when these men took the bread, the Bible says their eyes were open and they saw that it was Jesus. And then suddenly, Jesus vanishes. And this brings us to our text. Did not our heart burn within us while He talked with us by the way and while He opened to us the Scriptures? Here's what I want to ask you tonight. Are your hearts on fire for God tonight? Is there ever a time in your life that you are more on fire than you are tonight? Help us, Lord. Oh, that passion for God was stronger. Whatever you've got to do, get that passion back. Get that fire back. Oh, our spiritual heart is a whole lot more important than our physical heart. When you were conceived in your mother's womb, within 6 weeks, your new heart began beating. Your new heart grew stronger as you began to grow, as you begin to mature. And likewise, every one of us, when we are saved and we become new creatures, we get a new heart that begins to grow hotter and hotter for the things of God. And we can't do enough for God. Everything that we can, we want to do for God, but somehow, some way, we reach to a certain point and we start to back off. And we start to cool off. And that zeal that we had, that passion that we had, somehow, some way begins to get colder. And a lot of Christians get weaker and weaker, and their hearts grow weaker and weaker, and they develop a spiritual heart disease. Now, there's several things that will contribute to spiritual heart disease. First of all, spiritual heart disease is caused by poor habits. Our physical hearts can get these diseases if we have bad habits. If we don't eat healthy food. Some foods like fast food, burgers, overly processed meats, deep fried food, candy, sodas, sugary cereals, and all the things that we love to eat can hurt our heart. It can contribute to heart disease. You know what's interesting? If you Google, how to eat healthy or healthy eating plan or anything like that, there's page after page after page of how to eat healthy. But here's the thing. We have common sense. I know that a piece of broccoli is better for me than a Krispy Kreme donut. Right? People make bukus of money off telling you that broccoli is better than a donut. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. But here's the thing. A lot of us don't know the spiritual things that are causing damage to our heart. We think, well, I can just do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But slowly but surely, we're developing spiritual heart disease. You know, we try to go to the gym a few times a week, and we go in there and I see all these people on the treadmill working out, and they're so concerned about their physical heart, Brother Aaron. They want their physical heart to be just right and everything be good with them. But I wonder how many actually take a second to worry about their spiritual heart. Oh, so many people run for miles, but never even consider the things of God, never even consider where they're going to go if they died on that treadmill that morning. There's a few things that can contribute to spiritual heart disease. I'd say that large doses of bad news isn't good for you. That's why we got to limit how much time we spend on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media. There's nothing but bad news, it seems, all the time. That's why you need to cut off Fox News every now and then, because people just want to report on the negative, because good news don't sell. Good news doesn't sell. Good news doesn't put you in a panic. All it is negativity all the time. And if all you bring in is negativity into your life, you will be a negative person and develop spiritual heart disease. The things that you consume, the things that you constantly put in your life, that's who you're going to be. That you are what you eat. You are what you eat. The things that you constantly want, that's the things you're going to talk about. The things that you do all the time, that's the thing when nothing else going on, you're going to think about. And if you constantly bring in bad news, all you're going to think about is the bad news. But you know God's Word's got a treatment for that in Philippians 4:8. He says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Pastor, is this bad? Is it wrong for me to do this? Can I do this and still go to heaven? This, that, and the other. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. If it can't fit in any of these categories, we as Christians don't have a business bringing it into our lives. Can somebody say amen? Woo! Doctors tell us smoking's bad for our physical hearts. Oh, they say if you put things that's in your body that don't belong, it can cause damage to your organs. Smoking damages your lungs. It also damages your heart. And likewise, when we take things into our spirit that do not belong, we damage our spiritual heart. When we listen to the filthy music, when we listen to the dirty jokes, the simple gossip of Hollywood, when we watch the wicked movies, when we take the things into our soul that do not belong here, we are damaging our heart. The difficulty that it is when we think, well, I'm just going to quit doing it. I'm going to stop doing it. I'm finally going to quit. It's the same association the same way people can't just quit smoking. They can't just quit alcohol. We develop a dependency on it. We want it. We get some type of chemical reaction in our brain that we want that violence. We want that music. We want that wickedness. It's something that just gets a hold of us and we cannot stop it on our own. We might as well just never bring it into our life because it's hard to get it out. When you're hooked on it, it's hard to stop. Even though the thing that you're doing, you know is killing your body, you know that cigarette is going to sometimes. That's weird to me. But you can watch them, and sometimes I don't have the Xbox Live, and I'm not preaching against it, but people will tell me there's 6, 7, 8-year-old kids playing these games that grown men are playing. There's something wrong with that, and we wonder why America is in such a mess. It's because we let this filth and this violence and all this stuff from Hollywood raise our kids, and when they grow up, they don't know the difference between right and wrong. They just say, oh, but they're old enough, they're mature enough. There's a reason there's a rating on it. There's some things the rating none of us should be playing or watching, but there's some things that definitely kids should not have access to. We need to be careful what we put our kids in front of. Here's the thing. If we bring all this stuff into our life, our spiritual heart will not be healthy. How could it ever be on fire for God? And I'm not here to upset anybody. I'm not here to make anybody mad. I'm here to take that AED and just shock some life back into that heart that's slowly decaying. Second of all, spiritual heart disease is caused by a lazy lifestyle. Far too many people today are lazy, deadbeat, they don't do anything. Oh, I'm all for assistance, government assistance. There's people that need it, and I'm all for it. But a lot of times, people can't get what they really need because there's people that could work but won't work, and it's just an epidemic. I'm not against it, but I'm against people taking advantage of it and taking food off people's table that really need it. That's what I'm against. I'm against my tax dollars be taken from people that need it and given to someone who could work but won't work. Help us God. Oh, but a lot of kids we put in front of a screen to play video games, and I played my fair share growing up. But I also went out and I played outside, rode bikes, did all that. I'm sure everyone here did that. But now we just put kids in front of a TV screen and they develop a sedentary lifestyle. And we wonder why we have so many heart diseases, because people are lazier than ever, because we've got so much technology we don't even have to go outside anymore, and we can experience so many things. And we wonder why we get older, why we have our weight problems and our poor physical shapes, and it's because we've become couch potatoes here in America. Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord. If you sit around and do nothing, it causes your physical heart to become weak. People who sit around and do nothing physically, they become weak. They become weaklings. They couldn't help themselves if they wanted to. Have you seen the show? I don't even know what's the weight up to now? 1,000-pound life? 2,000? I don't even know what it is now. People can't do anything for themselves because for some reason they became lazy at some point in time. But here's the thing. If all we do is sit around and do nothing for God, our spiritual heart will become the same way. We'll become spiritual weaklings. We won't be able to help ourselves out of any situation. We won't even be able to help anybody else. We need to work for the Lord. Far too many people are spiritually lazy. They won't do anything for God. Oh, let someone else do it. Let somebody else preach it. Let somebody else sing it. Let somebody else talk about it. But we've got to be about the Great Commission. You say, but Pastor, what should I be doing? Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I command you. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be about soul winning. We need to preach the gospel to everybody who will listen. We need to tell others what Christ has done for us and what He can do for them. We've got to get active in Christ's ministry, and when we will have spiritually healthy hearts. Help us, God. Oh, spiritual heart disease, third of all, is caused or it's contributed by hanging around the wrong people. Who do you spend a lot of your time with? Are they good for you? Do they help you? Or do they hurt you? Think about it this way. Suppose you're trying to eat right. Trying to exercise, eat all the healthy stuff. But you have, a spouse that keeps bringing in the Krispy Kreme donuts when you need to be eating the broccoli. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Now, here's the thing. A Krispy Kreme donut every now and then is a great thing, a wonderful thing. But if you make up your mind that I'm going to eat right, I'm going to lose a few lbs, I'm going to do something good, right? But your spouse keeps bringing in that garbage food, it's hard. When you make up your mind you're going to live right, you're going to do right, you're going to live a holiness lifestyle, the people that you're hanging out with, if they're bringing in Krispy Kreme donuts when you're trying to eat broccoli, I'm telling you, you cannot make it. It's hard to make it. The same thing will happen to you spiritually as physically. Hanging out with the wrong crowd have devastating consequences on your spirit. need to start distancing yourself. I learned this. My mama told me, my daddy told me, my pastor told me, everybody told me. But I wouldn't listen. So I do good for a couple weeks, brother. If that, sure enough, I'll be back in the same crowd, doing the same things, making the same mistakes. Hanging out with that wrong crowd will have devastating effects on your spiritual life. How can we have hearts on fire? That's why the Bible says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. That doesn't mean you can't have association or you can't be friendly. That shouldn't be the person you run to. That shouldn't be your best friend, because more often than not, they'll pull you down before you pull them up. Help us, God. The wrong friends will lead you astray. They'll expose you to temptation and make you feel pressured to fit in. It's like having that friend, and you're trying to eat right, and all they want to do is go to McDonald's, right? You can't eat right at McDonald's. You can't do it. Same way spiritually. Same way spiritually. You're trying to live by the Word of God, but all they want to do is feed you the garbage of this world. You'll never make it. You'll never make it. I'm getting ready to close. Someone come to the music. Spiritually speaking, many church people are on the verge of a spiritual heart attack. They consume a steady diet of bad news to the point that they have no joy left in their lives. All they can do is focus on the negativity. They have no hope. They have no joy. Everything's bad, bad, bad. They've sat around for so long doing absolutely nothing for God that now they feel useless. What's the point of even coming to church? I don't do anything for them anyway. They've been hanging out with the wrong crowd and making excuses for them, and now their bad behavior is starting to rub off on them. They've taken so many harmful things into their soul that their spiritual heart is literally rotting from the inside out. Let me ask you this. If you went to, every head bowed, every eye closed. If you went to a doctor, and the doctor said, hey, you're on the verge of a heart attack, what? You'd say, Doc, what can I do? Is there anything I can do? Doctors would tell you some things you better do right now. He would call it a lifestyle change. And some Christians, that's what we need, a lifestyle change. First of all, this is what I suggest. If you find yourself in this place, first of all, stop the doses of a sinful world that's hardening your heart. Second of all, start a spiritual exercise like knee bends down at this altar. Oh, help us, God. Third of all, put an end to the toxic relationships that are destroying you, and cut out all the things that are destroying you from the inside and the out. In our passage today, the two disciples said something very important I want to look at. It said, did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the Scriptures? He said, Pastor, I want a heart that's on fire for God. I haven't been on fire for him in so long. What can I do? You told me what a horrible person I was. What can I do to fix it? By doing what they did. First of all, their hearts burned within them, first of all, when they walked with the Lord. How's your walk with Christ? Maybe it's time to start that back up. Oh, then they talked with the Lord. How's your prayer life? You've been praying? Get back in the prayer closet. Third of all, listen to the Lord. Read your Bible. Take time to hear from God. Hallelujah. She's playing. Let me ask you this. Is your heart on fire for God? Are you truly excited about the things of God? Or has church become a chore? Oh, has church has become something I better do, or pastor's going to call me and bug me? Are you working for the Lord? Or are you making excuses? Well, brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so,